name's Katie Anania. I'm an art historian specializing in modern and contemporary art of the Americas. This term I'm a Wallace Fellow at Velleitati, and this fall I'll start as an assistant professor of art history at Georgia College. The Wallace Fellows study the impact of the Renaissance on the modern era. At Itati, I'm exploring the kinds of permissions that Italian Renaissance drawings afforded American avant-garde artists in the 60s, artists who, for the most part, were charged with erasing and disavowing the past. So at Itati, I was looking into the Committee to Rescue Italian Art, which was formed in the aftermath of this terrible Florentine flood in 1966. I'm looking at photographs and news articles that document specifically works on paper in a kind of fragmented framework, seen as partial, so that the notion of art making and art history were extremely contingent. Well, my wife and I came to Florence with our 3 cats, and we live in an apartment in the Oltrarno. And so a typical day for me would consist of taking the pulmino to my office at Itati. I usually write in the mornings, so I shut myself up very tightly and just write for 3 hours. Then after lunch, after my thought process has slowed a bit from digestion, I usually take notes on what I've written and then get to work on some additional research. That will usually involve either looking at primary sources in the library, speaking to the folks at the Fototeca or the archives about sometimes slightly unusual requests, and then in the afternoon I spend just kind of looking at new material and making notes on that for the next day's work. The Wallace Fellowship is really ideal for anyone working on the modern period who's interested in the role and trajectory of the canon in general, in my case 20th century art. There are all kinds of really inspiring avenues, and my colleagues here have been incredibly responsive. I feel super supported here.